let's take a look at today's quick example. We have considered the function f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 11x minus 6. We want to A, write the function in factored form. Part B wants us to write the function in vertex form. Part C wants us to find the roots of the function by factoring. Part D wants us to find the roots by using the complete the square method. And part E wants us to find the roots of the function by using the quadratic formula. So this is as complete as a question is going to get. Let's start by factorizing this function. Since we want to factor this, what we are going to do is we're going to do AC method. So what does AC method tell us to do? We take that A term and multiply by that C, giving us a nice simple trinomial to factor. So the way I like doing this is I like to factor this trinomial. You can also apply grouping with this AC method. So here is my method. I factor my basic trinomial, but we did not have that basic trinomial. We had a more complex trinomial. So I need to remember to divide by the A term. So the first thing we do is we multiply by the A term, but then we go back by dividing by that A term. Then you are going to identify and see if you can simplify either of these values. If you can, you should. If you cannot, then we will write our answer in a specific way. So for this first factor, I do see I can simplify, giving me an x plus 6. For the second factor, I cannot simplify negative 1 over 2, which tells me that I'm going to take that 2 and put it in front of x. And I have my second factor to be 2x minus 1. So in factor form, my function would be written as that. B wants us to write it in vertex form. So for part B, we're going to start with that f of x function. And when we are doing vertex form, we do not like the A term. So we're going to divide every single piece by A. We're going to fill in a blank and we're going to put that constant in the back. To fill in that blank, we take B divided by 2 and square it. So I do see it's a non-calculator question, but I am actually going to use my calculator for this. And I get plus 121 over 16, keeping it balanced, minus 121 over 16. The first three things, or the first three terms, are your perfect square trinomial. So you're going to write x, you're going to take that b and divide it by 2. So what is 11 over 2 divided by 2? And that value is squared. We're going to take our two constants and merge them together. But we're going to bring back that original A term of 2. So our final answer would be f of x equals, we're taking that 2 and multiplying it in front of the parenthesis. And we're going to multiply that 2 with our constant. And this is the vertex form of this quadratic. All right, so part C, D, and E are talking about the roots. So for part C, what we are going to do is we're going to take our factored form, which I have right above, and I'm just going to rewrite it. I'm going to set f of x equal to 0, and I'm going to solve for x. And we get x is equal to negative 6, or x can be equal to 1/2. Part D wants us to find the roots using complete the square method. So for the complete the square method, we're actually going to that vertex form. So I'm going to work with that vertex form I have there right above. And instead of having f of x, I'm setting f of x equal to 0, just like I did with part C. I'm going to start by moving that fraction over. We're going to divide by 2. We're going to square root both sides. Don't forget that the square root of any number is always positive and negative. I'm going to simplify this 169. The square root of 169 is a perfect square. So we would have positive or negative 13 over the square root of 16 is also a perfect square, which is equal to 4. I'm going to minus that 11 over 4 over. And at this point, I'm going to evaluate this. So let's write our answer as x is equal to negative 11 over 4 plus 13 over 4. What would that x value be? We would get a 2 over 4, which can be simplified to x equals 1/2. My other possible solution would be x is equal to negative 11 over 4 minus 13 over 4, which would give us negative 24 over 4, which is equal to negative 6. Your answers should be identical to the factored form because it is the same exact function. The last part is we want to use the quadratic formula. So let's do part E. Quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we're going to look back at our original function and identify the value of a, the value of b, and the value of c. So we have 2, 11, and negative 6. Now what we are going to do is we're going to plug in these values into our quadratic formula and simplify as much as we can, and we should get exactly those same x values. I'm going to input all of this into my calculator under the square root, not with the square root, all divided by 4. And again, we will get x is equal to negative 11 plus or minus 13 all over 4, which is the same exact thing as this and this if we were to split it up. So we have our x answers as 1/2 and x is equal to negative 6. The complete the square method and the quadratic formula are very linked together, so you're going to get similar answers, especially when you have radicals that can be simplified. And that is all for the mixtures of all types of forms and how you would write your roots of a quadratic function.